Young Thug has been very annoyed inside of the courtroom for one specific reason. The crime where Gunna snitched on Young Thug is now being brought up inside of the courtroom, and Young Thug is not happy about it. At first, Gunna was introduced into the courtroom to the jury when Trontavious Stevens, aka the YSL snitch, was asked, and I quote, "Is Gunna and Lil Duke associated with the Blue Street Team, and are they members of YSL?"
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you were asked on cross-examination a number of questions about the color blue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Are there that are members of YSL?
Yeah.
Is Gunna a
Yeah.
Is Duke a
Yeah.
Is Duke YSL?
Yeah.
Is he a member of Young Slime Life Gang?
Yeah.
And what about Gunna? Is he a member of Young Slime Life?
Yeah.
All right. Is Gunna's real name Sergio Kitchens?
Yes.
Is Duke's real name Martinez Arnold?
Yes.
So now with the jury knowing that Gunna is a part of the Blue Street Team, it would then be reported, and I quote, "Jurors in the YSL trial just saw these photos of Gunna and Young Thug arrested in 2017 during a traffic stop in Atlanta with several narcotics and cash. Part of the overt acts, prosecutors say, supports the RICO conspiracy charge, with the police body cam footage also showing the arrest of Gunna and Young Thug on the sidewalk. Now this is the crime that Gunna snitched on Young Thug in. Gunna claimed the illegal items inside of his vehicle were not his, and the other man that was sitting in the back seat behind him also claimed the items weren't his as well. With only 3 people in the car and 2 saying the items weren't theirs, common sense then points towards Young Thug owning all of those illegal items. However, it gets crazier as the prosecutors would then question the arresting officer on that day.
All right, so he's sitting on the curb. Mr. Jones is sitting on the curb, correct?
Right.
And Mr. Kitchens is also sitting on the curb. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. At some point, you go into the vehicle and you search the car.
Right.
You found Mr. Kitchens, by the way, was driving the car, right?
Right.
As after it would finally be Young Thug's lawyer's turn to cross-examine the arresting officer, as he believes that Gunna's vehicle was only pulled over because the officer saw him driving the vehicle and for another specific reason.
Come out of, and you said earlier, you pull over folks for window tint all the time, don't you?
Correct.
It wouldn't have had anything whatsoever to do with the fact that you saw 3 guys in a Maybach, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
I sustain the objection.
Your Honor, the state asked the question yesterday as to whether or not he knew the race of the individuals in the vehicle.
This question did not make the judge happy. Even when the prosecutors tried to counter the question on the arresting officer, the judge would get angry once again and begin yelling.
Partial of the firearm. So if he's crossed about, yes, Your Honor.
We covered this yesterday. It doesn't have a nexus. Stop trying to get into it. I'm still not convinced. So, he shouldn't testify about why he was there. It's not relevant at this point in time, because what it does is invites and opens the doors. So you're not gonna do that.
As then the video of Gunna accepting his plea deal would be reviewed by the court, as new information would now tell a different story when Gunna snitched on Young Thug.
Now, you agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
With Gunna's snitching video being shared inside of the courtroom for everyone to watch, sources inside of the courtroom said that Young Thug was nodding his head side to side and basically covering his face like in disappointment. However, this is where things get interesting. According to Young Thug's father, that video of Gunna accepting his plea deal isn't snitching towards Young Thug somehow.
Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna?
I love Gunna.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand the relationship. They got this thing saying that Gunna is a rat and he's done this and done that.
But see, let me try to help the attorney clarify that a little simpler.
Okay.
Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt us on this case. Period.
As this wouldn't settle well with Lil Baby, it's obvious that Gunna put the blame on Young Thug. We all heard it, which is why Lil Baby would respond to Young Thug's father in his new song titled 350, where he would sing the lyrics, "Ain't never said nothing about it, boy you know you a rat." Now this went so viral on social media, Young Thug's father would respond back, defending Gunna once again and also telling Lil Baby to just stay quiet.
How do you feel about Lil Baby throwing at Gunna for his plea deal? For his plea?
He need to shut the fuck up, cause he don't know what's going on. You know, he's going off of what he heard. Ask Lil Baby, have he ever came to a court date?
Oh, okay.
See, that's what I want y'all to ask these damn rappers and these bloggers with this whole snitch shit and this. When have y'all went to a court date to support Slime, to support Jeffrey, to support Thug, however you want to name him? Go on their social media pages and say, why in the haven't you been at the courthouse to support your dude? And I guarantee you won't get an answer.
However, this isn't even the craziest part of the YSL trial. The YSL trial could be taking a drastic turn within the next week, and it's not going to look good for Young Thug. The prosecutors believe that Young Thug's team persuaded the YSL snitch, Trontavious Stevens, to no longer snitch against Young Thug. As first, Trontavious would reveal the name Thug in Young Thug's rap name stands for truly humbled under God.
You already identified Jeffrey as a performer. What's his performance name?
Young Thug.
And do you know, if you do know, what, if anything, Thug stands for?
Yes.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen, jury.
Truly humble under God.
And is that something?
As Trontavious would even double down his claim, saying that Young Thug preaches about God in basically all of his music, and especially one song in particular, which would be Dropping Jewels. Now, Trontavious would be caught in his lie from the prosecutor. The report goes and reads, Trontavious identified Young Thug's song Dropping Jewels today. The DA emphasizes the song doesn't actually say God.
Can you think of a single song right here as you sit right now that talks about the defendant Williams being truly humble under God?
I will rule the objection.
A number of songs on the last album, Pump. I ain't with the song name. Dropping Jewels. He talked about God a lot in that one.
Okay. Please tell the jury what part of that song talks about the defendant being truly humble under God.
So in the beginning, he said, "Dang, show me why I'm living, why am I remaining here?" I know he wasn't talking about nobody else but God.
Oh, but did he say the word God?
You're right.
The prosecutor and Trontavious Stevens are supposed to be on the same team. The prosecutor is now exposing him for lying inside of the courtroom, which is why it would be announced that they want Trontavious now to return to jail for lying. It would be reported the DA's questioning of Trontavious Stevens about Young Thug's Droppin' Jewels song is borderline trolling.
Did you tell the jury that Droppin' Jewels was about the defendant Williams being truly humble under God?
Yes.
All right. And the line that you referred to, was that line that ain't no more reminiscing, ain't no more judging, no intuition line?
No.
Which line was it?
The first line in the song, to show me why I'm living, why I'm remaining here.
Okay, thank you for that. Is the line I was Scotty but not Pippin, I taught my son how to stack that to the ceiling, also a part of dropping jewels?
Yes.
Is there any part of what I just read that refers to the defendant Williams being truly humble under God?
You said, do what you just read talk about God? No.
And once again, they are supposed to be on the same team, and she is doing this to Trontavious. The prosecutor is trying to make him exposed for lying inside of the courtroom. If the YSL team persuaded Trontavious for any way to not snitch on Young Thug, even though he has accepted a plea deal, this is extremely illegal, and it will allegedly come with a prison sentence of 7 to 10 years on everyone they can find evidence that had a part in this mess. As Trontavious has been on the stand for 2 weeks, and the only evidence he has actually provided is that YSL does their selling at a gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue.
The gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell.
Are your initials next to number 13?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials next to them?